EU4 idea list ranking. Opening the ideas. How about we work ourselves up? We're gonna work ourselves up the ideas, and we'll see how good what is, okay? Humanist Ideas. Humanist Ideas is decent. You start with Religious Unity. They have the niche. Religious Unity has the niche, but it's not too good. Like, I feel you don't need it that often, do you? Then Unrest, and this is good. There's a niche again. You see the religious harmonization speed. That is really, really good for a nation like China. This is important for the religions over there in Asia. Like for Ming, this is really, really good. You have Confucianism, you have harmony, and you can harmonize religions. So if you are playing this nation, it makes a lot of sense to go down here and get this faster harmonization speed, because you get a lot of bonuses if you harmonize religions. And the longer it takes, the more negative effects you get. So this is quite worth there. Tolerance of heretics. This is once again such a niche that you can just dodge by converting. Like, if you convert, you don't care about this. This is very good. Years of separatism -10. If you want to change, funnily enough, if you want to change culture, that's very good. Humanist Ideas. I'm going to integrate you by giving you freedom. I don't know what this is. Next, promoted cultures. That's also very nice, but yeah, pretty decent. Improve relations also has the niche. If you're the emperor, that is good. You need a lot of positive relations. If you have like a mission where you need to have high relations, that is important. Overall, decent. If you do a lot of expanding and you don't wanna get too much AE, this can be very helpful, right? Tolerance of heathens. Once again, same over here with heretics. Has the niche. If you want to go somewhere where you don't convert a lot, take this. But I feel like trade companies and missionaries make this quite useless. I think it's not too good. The -10% idea cost on the other side is quite good. This is good. In trade ideas, idea cost, again, -10%, which brings you to -20%. And then institution spread. Me personally, I don't take this too often. Where do we put this? I feel like, let's say C tier, because the idea thing is really good. There's good things where this fit well, but overall, I wouldn't take it a lot. I think a lot of you would agree with me that human S tiers because I'm human. Yeah, thanks. Influence ideas. Vassalization income. This once again, influence ideas. Most of these ideas have their own niche where they're really good in. Income of vassals. Very good if you plan on having many vassals. If you're like Byzantium early game, I like to have a lot of vassals. This is good. Liberty desire of subjects. Following up. This is very early stuff you get here. But it's also, once again, very good. You get more money from your vassals, you can have more vassals, because they get less liberty desire, because, you know, if you have more subjects, they get more liberty desire from each other. So that's good. Then this is very important. Annexation speed -25%. It saves you 1/4 of the dip cost that you would have needed for integration. That is actually really good, this modifier. Really, really good. Then having more dip relations, which once again means you can have more vassals. +2 dip reputation. Very important. You need dip rep for integration. So once again, really helpful in the vassalization game. Envoy travel time. I will not talk around it. This is kind of bad. Vassal force limit contribution. This is on the other side. If you have a vassal swarm, imagine having this with HRE. Imagine you just did the HRE stuff. You just have everyone as your vassal and you take this. I think a lot of people underestimate the strength of this if you have a lot of vassals. At the end, you get unjustified demands -50%. This is one of those military mission trees in Hoi 4 where you just get a little bit of army experience. It is not very satisfying for the end. This is decent, but not very cool. Combinations, economic, playing tall, having a lot of vassals, amazing. Diplomatic annex costs with admin, -20%. So in combination with this, which you already have if you take this, -45%. That is very good. Vassal force limit contribution, again, 100%. With Plutocratic. With the Republic, this is very strong. Less liberty desire and more. This is so strong. We should do a run where we do this and we combine it with Plutocratic ideas. This seems so strong. I never knew this. And diplomatic relations, liberty desire from subjects, development. That's very good. That liberty desire from subject developments, that can add up so much. This is good. Advisor costs and aggressive expansion impact. Innovativeness and influence ideas together are amazing then. Because -10% AE. AE is what stops most players from expanding. Having -10% for that is amazing. And advisor cost all in all is amazing anyway. In combination with religious, you get -20% culture conversion cost. If you want to do a one culture thing, that is a must. -20% is so much. If you want to do one culture run, or if you just want to change a lot of culture, this is a must then. I would say this is a very, very solid A tier. So I would say we put this at A. Would you agree? Like, this is a good A tier. It's not amazing because it once again it's a niche. But there's a lot of things, especially like it was between A and B. The combinations just are over the top, especially the AE and idea cost thing. Okay, naval. Once again, of course, very specific naval. If you are inland, this is useless. Naval shock, which is very good. Galley compatibility for inland seas, very good. Naval leader fire, +1, and more hit when losing a ship, -33. 1/3, actually good. Naval tradition. Yearly naval tradition +1. Sailors marine limit. So this is how you get marines, basically. If you don't know how you get marines, stuff like this. -25% marine limit means you start having marines. So you can get it this way. Or you have ideas. If you want marines and want to use your sailor pool as a manpower pool, this is a way to do it. Heavy ship compatibility, 20%. This is very strong. Moral of navies +10%. Global naval engagement +10%. That is also very, very good. And ship durability, so they survive longer, and disengagement chance. I think disengagement chance means the chance they have to flee a battle when they're about to be destroyed. So you have a high chance that your ship survives, that it should have actually died, which is good. Combinations, let's look into it. Production fit, that's good with economic. That is really good. Goods produced modifier. Global naval engagement. Locate impact on siege. That is actually okay. I wanted to say it's shit, but it's actually okay. Chance to capture an enemy ship. That's cool. That's just 3 ships. Oh, expansion. State maintenance, 20%, and liberty desire from development, -20%. This is really good. Shipbuilding time and institution spread, that is also really good. Sometimes when you try to make a, like if you're a horde or something, right? I mean, as a horde, you will not go naval, but theoretically, if you're like, say you're Manchu and you're about to go to Japan, so you choose naval ideas, and you get a new institution and you're so big and you don't really have an income because you're a horde, this 20% can save you. It's really good. This does a very good job as what it wants. It wants to help you in a naval game because it's naval ideas. And there's just a few things which I would never click. But all in all, it's very good at what it's doing. I feel like it's very niche. I don't know if I put this... And stop writing S tier. It's definitely not S tier. From my own experience, even though it sounds so good, there's other ideas that are just way more important than the naval. Like, this is very good at what it's doing. It makes your navy very strong. It even helps a little with trade if you combine it with other stuff. But navy is not always a focus in this game. Most of the time, you want to improve your land battle. And using your mill slot, especially your first mill slot, for a naval ideas is very unlikely, yes, to most nations. So I will put it here. It's not bad. It's good at what it's doing. Quantity. I think quantity ideas is very popular. I think quantity is one of the most popular ideas. I think the most playthroughs start with quantity. Just because it does a lot for your nation. And most of the times at the beginning, when you're expanding, you use all of your admin points for coring. You use all of your dip points for... Most of the time, I don't have dip points. I actually don't know why. Oh, for the truces. The truces cost dip points, don't they? So you are kind of needing these points for research, and you're needing it for taking land and pouring it. Then you sit on a lot of mill points at the start, and there's always a question, what is your first idea you want to take? And most people say it's quantity. And I think I agree. The first thing is already so strong, it gives you 50% more manpower in your manpower pool. Then it gives you a 20% recovery speed, which, if I'm not wrong, is the currently you gain blah 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 each month. This is the recovery speed. This would be 1/5 more, which is very low at the beginning, so this is actually quite helpful. Regiment cost -10%. A lot of people get this wrong, because yes, it makes them 10% cheaper to buy, but it also makes them 10% cheaper to maintain. That is really good. Like, this is a lot of money saving here. 10% saving from the army, and then on top, land maintenance, 5% less paying for your army. So together, I think this is like 15% you pay less for your army. Quite strong. Also, reinforcement is cheaper. That I didn't know. Very good. National supply limit +33. This is just very nice for convenience, because most of the time, you're a small nation, you like to have this big blob, so your AI doesn't stack wipe you. At least for me, it's like that. So having more troops that I can have in one army, especially at the beginning, is very nice. So this is just comfortable. 1/3 more supply. Very nice. Garrison size. This is the first thing where I would say in quantity, nah. It means your fort has more garrison. Land attrition -10%. This is something that just adds up over time. This is very nice. Attrition is basically a modifier. You go through enemy land, you're undersupplied, you lose army. This is like saving 1/10 of your army, which adds up over all of the, all of the wars, right? Even just standing around in your own nation when you're stupid. Very helpful. And now, this is what I mean. A huge benefit at the end. to make like feel the idea complete, something you want to reach, something you want to think about, like do I take the next technology or do I finish my idea? And the land force limit modifier plus 50% is so strong. You can have double your army, not double your army, but 50% more army, right? Another half of your army on top of your army, which is very strong. Now, the combinations. Trade ideas, 20% goods produced modifiers. Like, you wouldn't expect this, but quantity ideas has very strong economic modifiers in too. Then you have diplomatic, land force limit modifier, 10%, another bonus. Plus Dipra, then espionage. If you want to go for a merc build, you get cheaper mercs, very strong. And maritime, galley bonus, galley compatibility. They're cheaper and they're stronger. Very good. Land force limit plus 10% and global settler increase. Very good. Again, this is a good modifier to combine with colonializers. Economic ideas, def and force limit modifier. So this is, if you want to play tall, quantity ideas. Quantity ideas with eco, very strong for that. Is quantity our first S tier? S plus, at least A, but S please. It is a solid S tier. I think quantity is the first S tier. Why do I say it's S tier? Because you can use it for most nations. It's kind of always useful, and it has a lot of combinations with other ideas that work well. It can go into an economic build, playing tall. There's a lot of things you can use it for. So you're never wrong with taking quantity ideas. So it has these amazing ideas, especially the early ones here are very strong. It gives you an amazing payoff, and the combinations are better specializations. Because I think the combinations between two ideas should just be a specialization, and it works very well with those things. So I would say S tier. Next thing is Maritime Ideas. Maritime Ideas starts with trade range, navy tradition from protecting trade. So you protect trade, you get naval tradition, and you get more range for colonialization. You also get more trade range that your merchants can go farther away. I think that's pretty bad. National sailor modifiers plus 50. Marine forces. This is good for if you want to have marines. You're more in a merchant build. I guess this is better for you. So yeah, I say it's decent. Not too amazing. Global ship repair speed. So you repair faster. Your sailor maintenance is lower. So you use less sailors. I guess that's okay. Having more ships, that's good. And having more trade power per ship. I guess this is the Navy merchant build, right? Ships are cheaper. That's pretty good, actually, because ships are very expensive, and 10% less for a ship, that's very good. You can have more admirals, and they're cheaper to buy, so you use less dip points for an admiral, I guess. I guess it adds up when you have a lot of admirals, right? Then blockade and pirateer efficiency, not too good, not too bad. And at the end, fleet movement speed +1, but also ships can repair in coastal sea zones. Like right now with Lithuania, bad example for this, right? But if my navy would be here and not inside of the port, it would repair. That's actually quite nice. I like that it is a feature you get and not an effect. Look at the combinations now. Plutocratic, light ideas, light ship compatibility. I think there's this EU4 civil war where people say galleys or light ships, and some people just swear on light ships and they just say, oh, they're so good, they're so much better. And others say, no galleys, screw light ships, you know. I'm on the galley team, so I'm not that big of a fan. Heavies, of course, but there's always a situation where you can't have heavies because it's way too expensive. Moral of navies plus 20%. I guess that's good. Divine ideas, prestige from naval battles, naval traditions for battles. That's decent. That's actually quite decent. Offensive ideas, naval leader maneuver plus ship durability. Ship durability is nice. I mean, maneuver means that you can get more ships into a battle, so that's also good, I guess. Maritime ideas, D or E tier. I say the situational. They're really good at the situation, of course, but this is so specific. Think about how often would you take this idea, and I would think like, never. Okay, let's go into admin. It opens up with 10% cost, which can stack with other nations who already have the ideas, which works quite well. Then the second thing opens up as a banger. This is just gold. This alone, so good. Minus 25 core creation cost. And this is one of the things you will always do in EU4, core creation. All of your admin points, most of the time when you have no admin, it's because you conquer the land and you waste all your admin points to create a core over there. This is really good, because this reduces this problem by 1/4. Then it goes from mercenary cost, but this is also maintenance. And to this, you have 15% maintenance. So I think this adds up to 25, which is very good. Then the interest per autonym, which means when you have a loan, you have to pay back less. So if it's 4% interest, you only have to pay 3.5% interest by the loan. But that's nice if you work with a lot of loans, which could happen when you have a lot of mercs, right? Mercenary manpower, which is good. Like, if you don't want to delete, after a while you have to delete your mercenary companies because you can't afford them or the manpower pool is empty because it doesn't fill up automatically. So this gives you more breathing space with your mercs. Very nice. Possible advisors. I think this is the first really, really bad thing here. I think these are kind of meh. This, on the other hand, 10% technology cost admin. Very nice. As I said, this complements very well with the 25% core creation cost. Very good. And at the end, you get governing capacity. This is late game stuff. This is amazing mid to late game stuff. Governing capacity 25%. This is a lot. Yeah, amazing payoff for an idea group. I would think, do I want to take admin tech or do I go for the last two things in my idea? And this moment, I would say, I'm overextended. I gotta put the ideas, I gotta put the technology on the side. I'll take the idea. So I would say this is very good. Combination, espionage and defensive give you the same stuff. Interesting. Once again, diplomatic ideas very complement the build, right? With less maintenance. Divine, manpower in true faith provinces. That's actually funny. I've never seen that before. But it's decent, yeah. Trade efficiency. Oh, 20%. I would say naval ideas. What do you say? What do you say naval ideas? It's A or S tier. I can spoil that. Admin. Sorry. Did I say naval? Okay, I agree. The merc stuff is very specific. There's a lot of good stuff here, but also some, So very little, but you know, it's not S tier. Maritime Ideas. There is something. Okay. If it's very specific, then it doesn't change it, because then once again, it's very specific. Okay, yeah, but this is specific to Genoa, isn't it? This is very good. I agree. It's the strongest trade power. Okay, so you gotta be the strongest trade power in your region. There you see that. Yeah, you see down there what it's specific to a few provinces. Cool. I will put it D tier then, okay? Just because of that. But that's it. Quality ideas. I think once again there's a battle between quality and quantity ideas. I will show you why. Because the third thing you get is infantry combat ability, which is really strong. In 10%, I think infantry combat ability is the new meta since the last big patch where they changed combat. Like, infantry combat ability is the strongest thing now with after the last big patch, where they removed moral as such a big thing. So this is very important in combination with yearly army tradition, which just guarantees good leaders. Cavalry combat ability, that's okay. That's very specific. Good in Poland and nations like this, and hordes, of course. And then it goes over to more naval stuff, right? Ship durability, moral of navies, naval attrition, decent, very decent. Artillery combat ability, once again, that's very strong. And at the end, you get 5 discipline, which is also, once again, one of those huge modifiers which can change a war. And in combination with economy, you get another 5%. So 10% discipline from this if you do with economy. Interesting. Religious ideas, moral of armies and siege ability. That is very strong. The siege ability, 10% siege ability. The AI loves to build forts at the moment. Innovativeness. Another 10% infantry combat ability. That is strong. Very, very, very good. The combinations are amazing. And it can change a war. If you combine it with the right stuff, I would also go for S. I know it would be unfair to admin because we put this in A, but I feel like this is the war meta at the moment. These buffs that are inside of here, especially the war meta at the moment. So this is kind of like a must that I feel. If you don't choose this, your army will be way weaker. Exploration. It's very specific, isn't it? Exploration is nothing you would take. Oh, today I'm gonna play Moldavia. Let's go exploration. Like, no. It starts for the ability to build explorers and conquistadors, which you need to search for the new world. And then you get your colonists, then you get more range to reach the new world, then you get global settler increase. And all of this makes sense. The envoy travel time is good to go over the big ocean, right? Expel minority cost. I don't use it very often. Since they changed it, that you don't get your own culture into the province, I find this, naval land modifier, good, once again, for what it's doing. And then you can fabric, I like, once again, you don't get a buff, but you unlock a new feature. I like this, and the combinations, I mean, we said most of these. I like that there's a combination exploration. The first thing is indigenous ideas. You get more discipline for if you indigenous exploration ideas. That's based. Yeah, but otherwise, it's just supporting what it's doing. B tier. Because if I see naval ideas, and if I see humanist, I will take this way more often. Compared to influence, admin, quality, and quantity, this is still below. Expansion. After the exploration, let's go into expansion. Additional colonists +1. This starts off, expansion is where exploration is find new land. Expansion is you already have new land and you just want to colonialize it. So I guess this is better for like nations in Africa for nations in Indonesia. So, colonist, merchant, global settler increase plus 20, which is more than here, where it's just 10. Fort maintenance, but the center of trade upgrade cost is good. The 20% over there. Then you can have more relations. You have a high settler chance. It's also hidden in there with a colonist. More trade power. Once again, very good. And minimum autonomy in territories. Very nice. This is very complementary, of course. But this is more important if you are not going into the new world and staying here in the old world and colonializing over here and do a trade build in your region. The end thing, that's actually really good. I would say this is something to work towards. And then the bonuses. Horde Ideas. Oh, that's good. Yearly army tradition and shock. Wow. Bureaucratic. Oh, production and national manpower modifier. Really good. Regiment cost, which is really good. It's also maintenance. And army recovery speed. So with defense, that's a good combination. Trade, efficiency, trade steering. Combination with trade, very strong. Because it's very complementary to trade already. Then you just get more steering and more efficiency. Very good. I would say this is at the same tier. I would say this is also B tier. Because it's still very specific. Not everyone can use it. But it's very good. Economic Ideas. It starts off with a bang. Just more money. Tax modifier 10%. Then everything is cheaper 10% if you want to build it. That's decent. This yearly inflation reduction. Amazing. If you have a gold mine, very good. Same again. Specific like over here. Where was it? In administrative. This is actually just the same. This autonomy change. This is very nice. Monthly autonomy change. 5% land maintenance modifier. On its own, decent, but not too good. I would like this to be 10 for being actually good. But 10% production efficiency is, once again, that's very good. At the end, you get 20% development cost. This is what everyone strives for if you want to play tall. So once again, it's a banger at the end. Just a good idea set. Race power gain. That's actually really good. I didn't know this combination. Actually really good. Indigenous Ideas. Oh, that's so weird. Infantry cost. Infantry is 15% cheaper with this. Also maintenance. Crazy. Wow. Trade. We didn't have trade yet. So trade efficiency, trade production. Very good. Okay. Where do we put this? Economic Ideas. It's S tier. It's S tier. We're kind of having no space in S tier anymore. Something has to go down. Trade Ideas. Global trade power. Very nice. Merchant. Very nice. But only if you need him. Trade range. Okay. Trade efficiency. Very good. Once again, merchant. Very good when you need him. Trade steering. That's very strong. Caravan power. Very strong, because this is just trade steering on land. And at the end, you get another merchant. I think the third merchant at the end is a little bit, I mean, good, but it's not like a banger, because you already got it twice. It's like nothing special. Offensive trade efficiency movement speed. That's interesting, because it does kind of both. It complements both ideas. Indigenous Ideas, colonial range. Indigenous Ideas and seeing colonial range with Indigenous Ideas. That's kind of cursed. So where do we put this? Okay, I think we can agree on C tier. It is very specific. I agree with that. But it is so good. There's so much trade modifiers in here. You most of the time don't need them. And sometimes you play a playthrough where you don't need trade and you just collect taxes because you're not in a good trade position. But all in all, I think this is quite decent. Especially the combinations are really good. Since they had trade companies now, the merchants are kind of like less of a necessity now. You can just get it through trade companies if you really need to. So, yeah. Defensive Ideas. Army tradition from battles. It's very specific. It's double, but double of not a lot is still not that much. Moral of armies was very strong, but now with the new military patch, it's way weaker. Land maneuver, Land maintenance, 5%. 5% is not that much. That's nice. Fort maintenance and more defense. It's actually good because it keeps the AI at bay. Reinforcement speed. I guess that's good because sometimes you wait for your army to resupply after you lost the battle. 33% is actually quite a lot to kind of catch up there, right? Land attrition. And it's very good. Land attrition is also. There's a lot of passive deaths that you could just prevent. Same here. There's 10%. Here's even 25. Very good. And at the end, you get attrition for enemies +1. I like the idea behind it, but I feel like it's very specific to nations that are very large. And I wouldn't choose it as one of my first ideas. Most of the combinations we have already seen, it is not too good, isn't it? Like, I'm more willing to go trade ideas before go defensive. I'm not a big fan of defensive anymore. I think I'm actually gonna put it into E tier, thinking about it. I never take it anymore, and it's like you're kind of losing battles when you have this. Offensive Ideas. Land leader shock +1. Very good. That is very good. Shock is close combat, and every unit starts with shock. I can show you this. Unit types. And yeah, shock is something that stays very important, and later on with the musketeers, fire comes in, but before that, shock is the main thing. Recruitment time, that's kind of useless. My units build 10% faster. What do I gain from that? Make it maybe 50%, but 10%. Land fire. Once again, later on, fire becomes very important. So this is also just very nice to have. Prestige for battles. It's decent, but at the same time, not really. Siege ability. With the AI building thousands of forts now, siege ability is very nice. Okay, so I say this is very good. Land limit modifier. Land force limit modifier. I say this is good. And then discipline at the end. Once again, discipline is kind of in the meta now. So you want this. I would say this is very good. Recovery, army moral speed. I would say where offensive ideas really let down is at the end. They should turn the recovery, army moral speed here and should make the 20% siege ability up here. So I feel there's something special at the end. Of course, gameplay-wise, I'm happier that I get this earlier. It would be more interesting if it's the other way around. So you get something cool at the end. Because this is not really cool. This is just, okay, I have this now. There's anything that sticks out is really, really good. Innovativeness. Siege, leader siege and siege ability plus 10. So you get 30%. 30% siege ability. That's very strong. So where do we put this? What would you say? Where do we put this? Yeah, I would say it's really good. It's just not quality or quantity good. The combinations are also very amazing, but I wouldn't take this every game. Most games, yes. Not every game. Diplomatic. I mean, yeah. You get a dip. You get a diplomat. You can have more relations with nations. You get another diplomat. You can improve your relations faster. You get more diplomatic reputation. You can take more land in a war. And diplomatic tech is cheaper. And at the end, you get a new ability, which is cool. I like when you get abilities in these. Lowered impact on stability from diplomatic actions. This means if you end a royal marriage, you don't lose stability. I think you just lose a little bit of prestige. So this is like Austria HRE, very important. This is very nice to have. Combinations are just like literally the same. A lot of dip stuff. What do I see here? Plutocratic. Re-election cost. That's actually nice. Female advisor chant. Is that actually a thing that female advisors give you? No. So it's just a reskin of a portrait. Okay, I don't want to sound mean, but you know, if it doesn't do anything, it's useless. Diplomatic ideas. Where do we put this? I would say B tier. You have to choose it as a play style. Because I feel like I don't take this every game, but it's still very good. And this is for single player mostly. Yep. Florius opinion single player. No, this is a democratic election that I just overrule all the time to put it somewhere else. North Korea democracy. Still a democracy, right? I go fast through this because I actually know religious really well. Missionary, stability cost reduction, missionary strength. This has a lot of hidden modifiers for whatever faith you have. It's very nice for Orthodox. Like in Orthodox, you get patriarch authority ticking, which you normally don't get at all. So there's a lot of things you get ticking, which you normally don't get in here, which is very nice. Prestige, it's good. It's good when you have a lot of prestige modifiers, but alone, it's kind of missionary maintenance cost, that's very good, especially if it's expensive, right? And this is like, Dios Vault is amazing for some nations, because it's like an imperialist war goal way early in the game if you take it as your first few idea groups. Then at the end, culture conversion cost, and the clergy likes you more. I say, once again, this is a payoff for a very specific playstyle. If you culture convert a lot, this is very good. And you can combine it with something else to get more culture conversion, right? So if you combine it with influence, you get, again, minus 20% culture conversion cost. Otherwise, it does just religious stuff. I would say, it's kind of here. B tier. It's specific, and it's really good. And it gives this amazing war goal. But it doesn't help you in every situation. Like in the HRE, this is kind of useless. Like there's not a lot of religions until you get the Protestant uprising or whatever. The Protestant Reformation. Even then, you don't really expand that much inside of the HRE that you needed. Which brings us to innovativeness. Innovativeness starts off slow. Gives you prestige decay, which is nice, but not too good. Then innovativeness gain, which is 50%, which is one of the best things you can have. Innovativeness at 100 makes everything 10% cheaper. Everything that costs any of these three powers up here is 10% cheaper at full innovativeness. Then technology and institution replacement cost, minus 10%. More advisors, institution spread, amazing. Like institutions, it will always happen, so the earlier you take this, the better. Same with this. Monthly war exhaustion, that's good. That's nice to have. Leaders without upkeep, yeah, also good. And advisor cost minus 25%, that's amazing. And as I said again, some combinations of this are so good. Like if you combine it with aristocratic 25 production efficiency, I'm just jumping through. Offensive siege ability, like 10%. influence, reduce 10% advisor cost on top of 20 you already have, minus 35 advisor cost. If you combine this with wonders, which also reduce your advisor cost, you can easily go to 90%. I think it caps us at 90%, so yeah. But you can reach that 90% easily. And I think this is one of these things, you either take it at the beginning or you don't take it at all. You don't always take it because other stuff is more important. Because it's good in every game, I'm actually going to put this into S tier. I think innovativeness is just S tier. I think a lot of people underestimate innovativeness and they don't take it because they don't see the direct effect. But the last campaign I played with it, it was so good. You don't need Inno. If you're lucky, yes. Now you get 3 times a bad air. What do you do? Try? Espionage. Okay. Cost to fabricate a claim, 25%. It's kind of dog shit. Already talked about this. You don't need this. Now, minus 20% AE impact. That is huge. That is huge. Then here, you see, oh, spy network construction, 50%. Useless. But then below, siege ability, 10%. Siege ability, 10%. In a non-military idea. That's really good. Over here, you get a diplomat and minus 10% advisor cost. That is really good. I feel like they reworked this and they have hidden a lot of the good effects. Origin spy detection, that's not good. We talked about these modifiers already. I'm not the biggest fan of these. But once again, the corruption thing is amazing. Minus 0.1 corruption per year, which is a lot. And at the end, this is my biggest problem with this. At the end, you get rebel support efficiency plus 50%. This is useless. I've never used that at any point. This is the weakest thing of this espionage thing. There's some modifiers in here which is also nice, but I think we talked about most of them already. I'm not gonna go into detail. Siege ability with divine 20%, that's actually really strong. I will put this. Where do you say espionage should be? I'm actually interested. Where would you put this idea group? I changed my mind today. I'm gonna make a lot of people angry. I'm gonna put it on B tier. Because it has a lot of effects that are hidden. It is a playstyle that most of the time is very useful. Like, religious ideas is very specific, but it has things in there that are really nice. The AE stuff, the siege ability, the advisor cost reduction, of course, and the corruption reduction. There's some nice combinations in there for a few things. Once again, it's not S or A tier, but the AE reduction is actually amazing. And now the last thing that we can see, spoiler, Aristocratic. Aristocratic, you get a cavalry boost, cheaper Miltech, very nice. Absolutism, late game, very nice. Decrease autonomy, national manpower modifier, army tradition, navy tradition, diplomat leader without upkeep, more merc manpower, and then at the end you get more loyalty with the nobility, and leader siege +1. So your leaders get more siege, right? And the combinations, how nice are they? Yeah, that's nice. Would you say C tier? Yeah, I agree with C tier. Plutocratic Ideas. So for Merc build, that's nice. I can imagine this very well together with Admin Ideas. They also get Merc bonus. More manpower, more discipline. More moral for armies. That was stronger. National Unrest, that's nice. Here starts the stronger stuff. Merchant. 10% goods produced modifier. Caravan power, which is inland trade transport. Manpower recovery speed. Very nice. And then at the end, institution spread and more loyalty for burghers. At the beginning, I would say it's kind of weaker, but then it becomes kind of strong. The combinations are good. I would say it is better than Aristocratic. I would say it is still very specific for trade stuff and for merc stuff, but it harmonizes with a lot of the ideas, so I'll put it over here. With the background that you are kind of on a religious focus with Divine Ideas, Yearly Devotion, Fire Damage Received, that's not important in the beginning, but in the end, that's quite strong. Leader cost, that's okay. Moral of Armies was stronger. I find it interesting that they have culture conversion cost, cost of enforcing religion through war. That's funny that they get these things. Alpha and Omega. National Unrest, Manpower, yeah, Divine Ideas. Combinations are kind of nice. This is still one of the first ideas you would take as any nation that is theocracy because of this thing here. I will put it here next to Aristocratic. I feel like Divine Ideas, it's nice and not too bad, but also not too amazing, is it? Horde Ideas. Cavalry cost, 33%. AE, 10%. Cavalry cost, 33% reduced, which is good. You have a lot of forces with Horde, that just makes sense. Makes them 1/3 cheaper. Aggressive expansion impact, 10%. Very nice. Religious unity. You actually, for Horde, you could have problems with religious unity, so this is actually quite well here. Land attrition, For Horde, really good. 20% is actually quite nice. It's like the same over here. A little bit less, but still very good. Unrest, 1 unrest is actually not that much. Is it? Terran power. I understand this not too much. I guess it's the lore. It's nice, but I don't think it fits Horde. Next promoted cultures, once again very good. And at the end, cavalry combat ability 25%. That is strong. That is very, very strong. And I think the combinations, yearly armor tradition, yeah, really good. Combinations, economic raising power, it is so good. Combinations are actually really, really nice. With both Horde and Divine Ideas, you can argue, yeah, it's specific for that thing, right? But I feel like the Horde idea bonuses are so bid on for Hordes. The cavalry stuff you get, the AE, it is amazing. You get so much out of Horde ideas. Even the religious stuff that you accept more other religion just helps you so much with what you're doing with a Horde. You don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of resources to convert, you grow really fast. So this is very nice. As you can disagree with me with there, no problem. I just think Horde ideas are just so good. Apparently, there are Indigenous Ideas. I actually didn't know this before I started this tier list. Let's go into Indigenous Ideas. I played so little in North America that I don't even know that Indigenous Ideas is a thing. Ah yeah, there it is. The Indigenous Ideas. I'm actually have no idea what it's doing, so let's find it out together. Okay, you start with development and tribal development growth. I guess that's good. Okay, here you have to help me, guys. This is, I guess, okay. This seems decent. Monthly reform progress modifier. I think that's very good. 25% progress modifier. That's actually really good. More of armies has been better. It's not as good anymore. So yeah, decent. National manpower modifier. Nothing wrong with that. Always good. Idea cost 10%. That is really good. Province war score cost in general 20%. Oh, that's actually really, really good. That's really, really good. And then institutions by 25%. Weird to see this in the new world, but I guess you need this to counter the long travel time. I would say it's really good. And the combinations are, we already saw a few. I think you could make a very strong New World build. No wonder in my last campaign, the New World survived the colonializers in the late game. That's strong. Where do we put this? I would say it's decent, but I wouldn't say it's A tier. Actually, nothing in F tier. We sacrifice and put it into F tier. I think it's B tier. I would say tier. It seems very decent, but it's not too good. I would say this is the EU4 idea tier list. I hope it helped you with your future choices, with the best of the best being quantity, quality, economic, and innovativeness, because you can always use it. It's always useful. It has a lot of good things. It is amazing. It has amazing combinations. Influence, admin, and offensive with Horde Ideas. Horde Ideas you can't always take, of course, but these three always very decent. I use them myself all the time. And yeah, the rest down here just becomes very specific to your play style. So compared to the others, would I use it in every campaign? No. I hope you enjoy this tier list. And until next time.